Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video today, and today's a bit of a short one, and today I'm just going to be going over kind of my top flippers in my collection, right? Of my collection, what do I actually flip and use the most? What are my favourite little geezers that I have? What are the things that I actually flip around? What do I find myself actually carrying around as well? So, there's one Balisong that I wish was on this list, but sadly I've lost them somewhere, which is the LDY Frank P. But, we're going to go, I guess, in literally no order, no particular order. But, yeah, this guy here, starting off with, is the Machine-Wise Prisma. Now, believe it or not, this is the only aluminium Balisong on this list. He's got some interesting hardware in him. He's got some blue bits there and some grey bits there. These are stuck now, by the way. These are the Balis hardwares there, which is really sad. But overall, yeah, I really like this guy. He is a really fantastic little flipper, and I think he's one of my favourites. He sounds absolutely nuts. This guy's not been oiled in like a month, so that's basically dry, and it sounds that crazy. Next up is what's quickly becoming one of my favourite little trainers, and this is the JK Designs Orca V2 clone Bite the One, customized a little bit, because if you've ever looked on the website to try and buy one of these guys, well, you can't get them in this color scheme, right, with the blacked out hardware and a black blade. But this is like one that's actually offered by JK, and I thought, why not try and replicate that? So I got this customized, and I think this, honestly, okay, other than this particular model with the ice pick, which I think is just because I have the screws tightened a bit too much. And I am a little bit paranoid about some sort of cracking or something like that. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that, because I've never had the jade version. My white version would certainly be on this list, if I'd never sold it, I guess. I do have my white one over there somewhere. That one is actually the better option. I would say definitely get the white version with some sort of, black or coloured handle. I think it looks the most kind of premium. It definitely is a little bit more comfortable than the green one. Also, sorry for the slightly shorter field of view. It's really dark, and it looks absolute pants if I use the other camera. But, yeah, this guy, I mean, he looks cool. I think it's more of an aesthetic thing, this guy, really, for me. But he's also a really, really good flipper. So, this is one of the things where it just sounds good. Yeah, I wish it had the kind of ice pick of my other one, but I'm also glad it's a little quieter than the white one. The white one was almost too loud. But yeah, that's the next guy on the list here. So we've got the Machine-Wise Prisma and the JK Orca G10 clone trainer. Now, I guess next up, we'll throw in something that I was contemplating even selling, and this is my Armshark Rep. Now, what's left of this, I mean, there's not much Armshark in here at all, actually. It's just the screws and the liners, and the rest isn't. Because we've got some nice polycarbonate scales here, carbon fiber channel inserts, some, I don't know who makes these, but some glow-in-the-dark little inserts there. And we've got a Bali Plus blade on here now as well. And, I mean, it's not got a crazy tune on it. I think it does tap dry. But with some oil in here, I mean, this thing, that sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm tempted to either get, let me know guys, actually, I'm tempted between jade scales with some slots, or some forged carbon fiber scales. What do you guys think? There'll be links for them down below in the comment section. I'm really tempted for the jade ones just because they're quite a bit cheaper, but the carbon fiber forged does look really good. I don't know if jade will work though with my anodization here. That's my only concern. But these PC scales are really nice, but I think it's time for a bit of a change. I'd like the extra grip, and the biggest thing is that I need some heavier scales, because the polycarbonate, it's fantastic, but it's really light. It sounds great, but it's just a bit too light for me. I need something a little bit heavier for the handles, which is why I was thinking about the carbon fiber, but G10 is actually a little bit heavier, so maybe the G10 was the better option, right? Jade G10 or some forged carbon with some, cool milling lines just to keep it, looking a bit fresh as a rep. I'd love some actual, like, metal slabs or something, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But yeah, that's basically how that is at the moment. Let me know how you think. But yeah, this guy, really good flipper. I think the blade is just just a tad heavy. Perhaps I should have gone for the alt blade. But yeah, the handle gap's a little small, but it doesn't look like it's going to be touching itself. Like it doesn't look like it's going to be fouling itself whatsoever. So yeah, that is the number 3 slot here. And I guess keeping up with the BRS theme, we're going to throw in the Balisongs Kukri Chab here, because this guy, I mean, this guy's a menace. It's actually really terrifying to flip. This is kind of like, reminds me of my first Chab. But the Kukri, as some of you may know, is like my favourite blade shape. And it's the only time I've ever had a Kukri Balisong, and I think just for that, it deserves a little spot. My plan was originally to throw this blade on the Alpha Beast handles, and sadly, it doesn't really fit. Like, it technically does, and you can flip it, and it flips amazingly. It flips better than this, and it sounds better. Well, not really sound, but it does that thing where if you squeeze it here, it gets smaller, and then you have a bigger gap on the open, and then you do that. Because the bushings aren't, I think these ones are too big, right? So it's like, sadly, it just doesn't work, which is like really heartbreaking. But otherwise, I mean, even as a Chab, this thing flips phenomenally. I love the tang pins. It sounds good when it's got some thick oil in there, and this guy needs thick oil, but he also like leaks a lot of oil, so it's very thirsty. But yeah, I think it just looks really good, especially next to the rep here. You can see just kind of all the different blade shapes we've got here. You know, we've got this kind of leaf blade here, a Tanto, another Tanto, and then a Kukri. Having so far some variation. Next up, I guess we're going to kind of come to the Armshark Madco, which is just kind of my little premium titanium trainer. Now, this guy has had his territory a little bit encroached by the G10 Orca here, simply because G10 Orca doesn't destroy stuff. But this guy is also a bottle opener, which is actually surprisingly more useful than I thought it was going to be, because I actually do open bottles with this guy, which is really fun. It's, you know, this is a good guy to take around you, good beater in terms of, you know, trash it around on places. It's pretty indestructible. It sounds good, really comfy in the hands. This is probably the nicest. Okay, you can see how the Madco feels about the G10 Orca. It just wants to body slam it out the way. But yeah, this is probably the most premier feeling Balisong I have out of like the clones. It'll be between this and maybe that guy. But this guy feels really, really good. Like, you know, it's just really, really nice. But after that, it would be... Oh, you know what? Yeah, the Bali Plus Tsunami D4 clone. Now, this is probably my most flipped Balisong. This guy should probably be at the top of the list. But I think 2 other Balisongs, which if you've seen my collection videos, you know what they are. But I can't get enough of those 2, so those guys are staples. I think here we are in my top 3 Balisongs now, really. And they've been my top 3 essentially since I've gotten them. I've tried out many other things. This guy has been encroaching up there to that kind of top 3 status, simply because of the convenience of its plastic. It doesn't destroy stuff. You can really take it anywhere. It's really, really nice. Obviously, plastic titanium, so it's like good quality, yet still lightweight. But this guy, absolute fantastic flipper. I actually nearly ruined it, and I only just about managed to recover it. It took like a whole entire day, like a waking day, which is really depressing, but that's what you get when you're chasing perfection. Whereas here now we have like a very, very good tune. You know, very little wiggle and whatever. It's on stainless hardware, stainless and titanium hardware, I should say. Titanium washers would actually be quite cool. Probably the best middle ground. There's full titanium hardware. But yeah, sounds good. Flips even better. Bit of a small handle gap, but it is what it is at the end of the day. You can see actually a good little size comparison between all the Balisonguses. Let's see, can we get them all reasonably close to each other, and like starting from like the same height, just to get a good size comparison. Yeah, so there you go. There's like a size comparison. You can see the Alpha Beast and the Madco are probably the shortest, followed by the Orca. And then the Rep is surprisingly long. It's about the same length as the Tsunami. And then we've got 2 Balisongs here at the end. And here is the Fellowship Blades Gaboon. That's one thing I'm glad to have gotten before Fellowship stopped making products. But yeah, this is a knife I doubt will ever leave my collection. This was a gift from my wonderful auntie. and I can't thank her enough. This thing's just fantastic. It sounds great. It feels great in the hand. It has been the least maintenance Balisong I've ever owned. All I do is periodically give it some oil, because I swapped it over to stainless hardware from the stock phosphor bronze, which I still have. That's literally all I've ever done. Yeah, oh, and I've swapped out the weights, right? I took it apart a bunch of times just to play around with the weight system in here. Also, that's the first time I think I've ever dropped my camera. But telephones are heavy, which is really sad. I need to start making these things lighter again. But yeah, this guy, absolutely fantastic. Really, really boring in terms of looks. Like, obviously, one thing, that blade. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh. Will you show me here? No? Look at that blade. Look at that. That is just absolutely stunning. I love that. And I really like how it looks like inside as well. I think the little bits in there are really, really cool. They are nice. But yeah, really fantastic little flipper. Kind of tuned to perfection as well. And then obviously, surprise, surprise, it's my Serif, which I still have after all this time, considering I've nearly sold this guy so many times because of the just the market value of these guys. But I mean, this thing, it sounds fantastic. Needs some oil, but otherwise there's a reason why this guy is kind of like the king of flippers really at the moment. I'm glad to have it. I would love a Tsunami as well. I think it's really sad because I think I might actually prefer the Tsunami in terms of the comfort. But there is something about the Serif. He just does it all. It just does it all. It does it fantastically. And it's probably the best sounding Balisong on the market. So yeah, this with some Super Lube is an absolute menace to society. And yeah, these would be my top, I think this is what, 9 Balisongs? And I guess we start and we end with Machine Wise, so it's quite poetic. We've got like, actually a fairly varied list of manufacturers, right? We've got Machine Wise here at the ends. We've got a JK here, I guess it's a the one, but you've got 2 BRS products here and 2 Squids and a Fellowship Blades, right? So you've got Fellowship Blades and JK, who are kind of like, you know, the low ticket medium productions. You've got 2 kind of mass produced companies here with your Squid and BRS, and then you've got your, you know, Machine Wise, who are kind of somewhere in the middle. They're not quite mass producers, but they're also not a small ticket as some of these guys. So there you go. It's a really nice array of Balisongs. I really like these guys. They're some of my favorite. These are probably my favorite flippers at the moment out of all the Balisongs I've tried. They are essentially what would be my collection. I think I would probably include here the Benchmade Necron clone by Bali Plus. And maybe some other little bits, and a Kraken. I'm really excited for that titanium Kraken, by the way, from Arm Shark. I don't know if it's out yet by the time you guys see this video, but goodness me, that is so exciting. I want one of them. But otherwise, yeah, this is essentially my collection. If it could only boil down to the bare minimum, and if I had to get rid of something from here, probably the Kukri Chab is the first to go, followed by the Madco. It's not that I like them the least, it's that I like the others much more. Like these 3, I mean, they essentially can't go, or at least these 2 can't go, because that's probably my favorite, like, every day. It balances performance with budget. This guy as well is a really, really good flipper. This is like customized, so it's a bit more sentimental. That's also super sentimental. That's never going. This guy is too useful. I can live without the bottle opener. I can live without the Kukri. That would probably be the next to go, followed by the Serif. Even though the Serif is my favorite flipper. Like in terms of, I think this flips the best. I like how this feels in the hand the most, other than the roundness of this. I think this sounds the best. This, but obviously the price of that, just like, I mean, you know, it's just nuts. This guy's just sentimental. It was my first original Balisong. I'm glad this was like my 3rd or 4th Balisong. I think this was really, really, this is a good purchase. This guy, I mean, he's just nutty. Yeah, and so that's essentially my little breakdown of my top flippers. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video is much longer than I expected it to be. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day, evening, afternoon, night, morning, yesterday, tomorrow, whatever your case be. Have a fantastic one at that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.